It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Reaction video 261. Day in the neighborhood. My brothers and sisters, time to get into another one, y'all. It is time to get into another one. Glad y'all came on back once again to fuck with the beam. Hope y'all doing excelente out there on this Friday. It's Friday, y'all. Time to enjoy the weekend. And we about to get into a guy that we ain't been to in over a month now. You know, we got so many people that we be watching now, y'all. But he put this video out 5 days ago, and we're gonna check it out. Cause we always check this little mini series that he got on his channel out. And this is the latest version. And that man is Lazy Masquerade. Lazy Masquerade, y'all. Title of the video, Disturbing Things I Found on the Internet, Volume 6. Volume 6 of the Disturbing Things. I think we first started watching these together on Volume 2, and they always be fucking, like, leave you like, huh? Like, what? You know what I'm saying? They always leave you like, what in the fuck? Lazy come up with some crazy shit on these Disturbing Things, y'all. So I'm excited to get into it. Hope y'all excited too. But before we get up into it, my brothers and sisters, you know what you got to do. Get whatever you may need. Get what you need. We back to the Lazy Man once again. Y'all got what y'all need. Y'all ready to go? Then let's fucking go. The Lazy.
They say you can never have too much of a good thing, but to paraphrase the great alchemist Paracelsus, anything can be a poison. It all depends on the dose. And this first case is a testament to that. Sacramento's KDND was one of several radio stations owned by media giant Entercom, and began life as 107.9, The End, broadcasting your typical FM fare. Cheesy DJ banter, interspliced with radio-friendly pop and rock hits. During the mid-noughties, the station's morning rave show was undoubtedly its biggest draw. As its name implies, it aired during the morning rush hours, and was hosted by KDND's most popular DJs, Lucas Cox, Steve Maney, and Trish Sweet. Despite its relative popularity, the trio still wanted to improve their ratings. In a bid to do so, they decided to host an on-air contest, the Hold Your Wee for a Wee competition, which was set to take place on January 12th, 2007. They advertised the event on the station's website as follows. We managed to get our hands on another one of this year's hottest gifts, a Nintendo Wii. We're gonna give it away on Friday morning. Can you hold it for a long time? We're having you drink water every 15 minutes. And the last person to go to the bathroom wins the Wii. And it really was as simple as that. A group of hopeful contestants would have to drink a standard bottle of water every 15 minutes without opening the floodgates. As expected, a lot of people applied to take part in the challenge. After all, the grand prize of a Nintendo Wii was an enticing draw. Back in 2007, Wiis were like gold dust, and almost impossible to find in North American stores.
Yup.
In total, 18 of the applicants were invited to participate. One of them was 28-year-old mother of 3, Jennifer Strange, who was hoping to win the console for her kids. On the morning of January 12th, she and the rest of the contestants were led into the station's competition room, an area separate from the recording studio. At 6:45 AM, they were each given their first 240ml bottle of water, which they had to finish within the 15-minute time limit. After that 15 minutes, they'd be given another.
I gotta say real quick, y'all, It's just I cannot think of a way possible that this lady is about to die from doing this challenge. You know what I'm saying? Like, this one of them challenges. Well, the worst case scenario I can think of is you gonna piss on yourself from trying to hold all that water in without using the bathroom because you're trying to win the Wii. I don't see how this is gonna turn out bad. Like, I got in the back of my mind this lady gonna end up dead or something, but how? I don't see no way plausible. So if she end up dead, it's most definitely gonna be some crazy ass shit the way she ended up dead from drinking water. Let's see.
The first puddle, of course, went down easily, and the second went down much the same. Fearing they had made the competition too easy, the DJs decided partway through to double the amount of water that the contestants had to drink. All the participants accepted the rule change with good humour, but it wasn't long before they all started to complain about stomach pains and headaches. In between bottles, the hosts would chat with the contestants individually and joke with them about their discomfort.
Jennifer, I heard that you're not doing too well.
My head hurts. They keep telling me that it's the water, that it'll tell my head to hurt and then it'll make me puke, but
Who told you that? The intern?
yeah.
That's one of the notes over there.
Like, it hurts, but it makes you feel lightheaded, so I'm not sure if I'm just like,
This is what it feels like when you're drowning. There's a lot of water inside of you.
oh, it hurt.
Okay then. I guess this what it is, my brothers and sisters. That ain't no regular fucking H2O. It's some up in that goddamn water. And I feel like these people who controlling the contest, running the contest, know it's some in it. They the ones put the shit in there. That ain't no regular water, man. Got you feeling sick. When water ever made you feel sick? After 2-3 bottles. Oh my God. For a fucking week? They doing people like this for... Let's go.
When DJ Lucas joked that this is what it feels like when you're drowning, he wasn't entirely wrong. Like anything, water can be lethal if consumed in high enough quantities. And despite standing on solid ground and breathing in air, Jennifer was, in that very moment, drowning internally. More specifically, Jennifer was feeling the effects of water intoxication. Also known as hyperhydration, water intoxication is an often fatal disturbance that occurs in the brain after excessive water intake. We all need water to survive, but consuming too much too quickly will lead to a rapid dilution of the blood's electrolyte levels. To balance out those levels, the excess water is absorbed by cells throughout the body, including those in the brain, causing them to swell and grow in size. As the brain balloons, pressure inside the skull increases, leading to headaches, personality and behavioral changes, confusion, irritability, and drowsiness. Other symptoms include breathing difficulties, muscle weakness, twitching, cramping, nausea, a dulled ability to perceive and interpret sensory information, and, ironically, thirst. If the cells in the brain swell too much, they can apply pressure to the medulla oblongata, the portion of brainstem which connects to the spinal cord. If left unchecked, this will inevitably result in brain damage and eventual death. Hyperhydration is tremendously rare. Under normal circumstances, an ordinary person is highly unlikely to drink enough water for it to become toxic. Nearly every documented case has been the result of marathon runners drinking too much water to stay hydrated, and people consuming too much liquid in water drinking competitions. Just a few years prior to KD&D's contest, a Chico State University student named Matthew Carrington died in a hazing ritual gone wrong, one that involved forced water consumption. His case was highly publicized, and as all three DJs mentioned live on air, they were well aware of what happened to him.
Oh, dude.
Wow.
You get water poisoning and like die.
Water. Your body is 98% water. Why can't you take in as much water as you want?
I don't know.
Stuff since that poor kid is college.
I
That's what
know.
I was thinking.
Yeah, well, he was doing other things.
Maybe we should have researched this
I don't know.
before.
I mean,
Them fucking DJs taking this shit for a big ass joke. Now I gotta retract my statements from earlier, my brothers and sisters. Now I know that if you drink too much water, you can die from water. Just like if you take in too much of anything, you pretty much can die. But my thing was, I was thinking Like, she only had, at that point, when she was talking about her head with her, and the DJ was joking about this what it feel like to be drowning alive. I'm thinking she only drunk probably like 3-4 bottles of water. Because, you know, they started it all. Then midway through it, they doubled it up. But I don't think, Lazy, did he, actually tell us exactly how much more water she had intook at that time? Because I didn't catch that part. But now that I know what the fuck going on, this shit, like, this is crazy because the damn DJs, y'all talking about a dude who already died from doing the same fucking shit, basically. Same thing. So, y'all know what the fuck going on, but y'all still letting it happen. Let's go.
As the competition went on, and contestants continued to complain about their discomfort, concerned callers rang in and tried to warn the hosts that they may be dying. "Those people drinking all that water can get sick and possibly die," said one caller, a qualified nurse. "We're aware of that," replied DJ Lucas. "Yeah," replied his co-host. "They signed releases, so we're not responsible. We're okay." The contestants, who were drinking their water in a separate room, didn't hear any of these concerning remarks.
Wow.
As would come to light, the releases they signed didn't include any risk-to-life clauses.
Wow.
As the show went on, the herd thinned. Some contestants couldn't hold their bladders. Others simply tapped out. At least one of them threw up. And several, including Jennifer, complained about severe pain. Still, she and a few others stuck the contest out to the end, drinking bottle after bottle of water. In less than 3 hours, Jennifer had consumed nearly 2 gallons of water, just over 9 liters.
Oh my gosh, look at her belly! Are you pregnant? Come on over, Jennifer. You okay? You want to lay down? What do you think? You're gonna pass out right now. Too much water.
The show came to an end at 9:30 AM, with Jennifer saying that she couldn't continue anymore. She claimed the silver medal, and walked away with a pair of Justin Timberlake concert tickets. This image of her, posing with her prize, was the last photo of her ever taken alive. After leaving the building, Jennifer called in sick at work, explaining that she had a severe headache and was heading home to sleep it off. One of her co-workers contacted Jennifer's mother, who, in turn, went to check up on her. She found her daughter, Jennifer, dead in the bathroom, mere hours after the contest had ended. KD&D reacted quickly to the news of Jennifer's demise, and fired 10 station employees involved in the competition, including the 3 DJs. But despite masterminding this fatal game show, and admitting live on air that they were aware of the risks, neither Lucas Cox, Steve Maney, or Trish Sweet faced any legal consequences for Jennifer's untimely end.
They ass should have been getting charged with murder, attempted murder, or something, bro. I don't know. Should they get charged with murder? I feel like they need to face some kind of consequences. I'm talking about them 3 DJs, man. But they got off scot-free. This is crazy.
All 3 hosts went on to find work at other radio stations, and are still DJing to this very day. 2 of the DJs, Lucas and Steve, even went on to sue KD&D's parent company, Entercom, for the wrongful termination of their contracts.
Wow.
They both settled out of court for undisclosed amounts.
I feel horrible for her and her family. Absolutely horrible. That's one of our listeners died. And never thought for 1 second that we were going to get fired. Not for 1 second did I think that we were going to get fired.
Although no criminal charges were ever pressed, Jennifer's husband Billy did go on to sue Entercom Sacramento, LLC. The company's defense lawyers tried to argue that Jennifer was responsible for her own untimely end. That it was her responsibility to know that drinking too much water could be fatal. However, the jury determined that she had acted as any normal person would, given the circumstances. On November 2nd, 2009, Billy was awarded $16.6 million in damages.
Wow.
Still, no amount of money in the world could bring back the mother of his 3 children. He described getting used to life without Jennifer as a one-step-at-a-time process.
Hey, Hey, Carter, is anybody dying in there?
We got a guy just about to die.
Oh, good. Make sure he signs that we laugh at that. Yeah. Make sure he signs the release. Get the insurance on that, please.
Bro, the fucking DJs out of everything in this store, man, they killing me, bro. Because I don't know, they saying they're trying to be sarcastic, they're trying to be funny, but I feel like they knew that these people was possibly gonna die because of the college kid who had died previous. That they mentioned, they knew about that, and they still held this contest, man. This is crazy, man. And I like I said, I had it in the back of my brain that she was gonna die, like she was really, like, literally gonna be dead from this shit. But when I first started hearing it, I'm like, from drinking water? But I said 2-3 bottles. Kind of found out this lady drunk 2 gallons of water in, what he said, in an hour or something. 2 gallons. You pretty much are drowning yourself at that point. Man, that was crazy, y'all. Let's keep going. Because I can go on and on about that one. Let's just keep going. We back to the lazy, baby. Turn on that bell.
Have you seen this man? Of course you have. This man is, well, this man. A guerrilla marketing ploy turned urban legend, famous the internet over, and who I talked at length about in my infamous Hoaxes Iceberg video. But how about this man? Have you seen him?
No.
For your sake, I hope not. This is the face of the Cape Intruder. Much like this man, he also made his appearances to people while they were fast asleep, dreaming in their beds. But unlike his uncanny counterpart, the Cape Intruder was, actually, real. Cape Elizabeth, Maine. An affluent and picturesque town with next to no criminal activity. The type of place where residents left their doors and windows unlocked at night. But that all changed in 2005. Throughout that year, many local households were visited by the same shadowy individual. The Cape Intruder. In the dead of night, this still unidentified man would creep into the homes of sleeping families and singletons alike, silently make his way into their bedrooms, and then just stand there and watch them sleep. In some cases, the residents he targeted would wake up in the middle of the night and see this sinister figure standing right beside their bed, looming over them, eyes wide, body motionless. The man always escaped before anyone could subdue him. As the year went on, the local authorities received dozens of reports from terrified locals who had all awoken to see this man watching them. Paranoia soon swept through Cape Elizabeth, with everyone wondering if they had been visited by the same man and just hadn't realized. After all, he never moved or touched anything. The only things he stole were his victims' privacy and their sense of safety.
Okay, this one here is weird on so many different angles and different levels, man. It's weird as fuck, number one, my people, because he just coming in there to just look at people. He ain't stealing nothing. He ain't coming in there to murder them. Even after they wake up, even after they see him, he just run away. It's weird on that level, right? But it's also weird because how in the hell all y'all letting this man get up in y'all house? Like Lazy said at the beginning, this is a safe place where people feel comfortable leaving their doors unlocked and all that crazy shit. Lock your fucking doors, number one, man. Lock your doors. But I want to say real quick that are these people just making up a hoax? Is this a hoax? You know how people start saying that, make something up about they seeing some shit going, then more people start saying they seeing it, and more people start saying they seeing it, and then everybody just get delusional and think it, and they just think it's real, and everybody seeing it. You know what I'm saying? Is they making this shit up? I don't know. This is a weird one too. It's a weird one too.
It's unknown how many homes he snuck into exactly, or how many sleeping people he gazed upon. For all we know, the majority of his victims never even noticed his presence. Those fortunate, or unfortunate enough, to wake up and actually meet the intruder face to face, described him to a police sketch artist, who came up with this composite of the Cape Intruder, though most locals referred to him by a different moniker: the Sleep Watcher. He was a young male, likely in his 20s, who stood around 5'10", had a medium build, short brown hair, and an expressionless face. The sketch was disseminated amongst the residents of Cape Elizabeth, and it generated about 10 tips from concerned callers who all thought they knew who the intruder was. Of the 10 callers, said Police Captain Brent Sinclair, 2 named the same person. Everybody seems to think it looks like someone they know or have seen. Despite investigating each lead thoroughly, no potential suspects were ever identified. The Sleep Watcher was obviously a creep, a potentially dangerous creep at that, but he wasn't stupid. He always gained access to each property silently and without being noticed. He never left behind any physical or forensic evidence, and whenever his victims woke up, he immediately fled the scene before they could shake off their grog and regain lucidity. Snuck around, didn't find out. It's theorized that the Sleep Watcher may have had somnophilia. That's to say, he derived pleasure from watching people sleep. This urge had in all likelihood grown so strong that he couldn't help but live out his fantasy. Although uncommon, a compulsion to watch others snooze isn't unheard of. The Manson family did something similar. They called it creepy crawling, and would enter people's homes to rearrange their furniture and watch the residents slumber. Some of you may also remember Mr. Sleepy People, a YouTuber who filmed himself licking the eyeballs of passed out women without their knowledge. A quick Google search will throw up dozens of cases where people have been caught inside the homes of unconscious people, watching them sleep. But in the vast majority of these cases, voyeurism was never the perp's main motivation. The Manson family's intention wasn't to just watch people sleep. By moving their personal effects, they were sending the homeowners a message that they could have taken their lives while they slept, but chose not to. Mr. Sleepy People no doubt enjoyed watching his targets as they drifted in the land of Nod, but it seems he got more enjoyment out of worming them. Don't look it up. Other intruders have been caught peeping at the sleeping, sure, but primarily they had come to steal the homeowner's possessions, and watching them was an afterthought. The Cape Intruder, however, was a rarity. He seemed to derive all of his pleasure from the simple act of watching alone. To combat the elusive intruder, the good people of Cape Elizabeth set up neighbourhood watch groups and patrolled the areas most heavily affected by his break-ins, but neither they nor the police were ever able to apprehend him. As soon as his case started receiving media attention, he gave up his nighttime hobby entirely and never struck again. At least, not to anyone's knowledge. Perhaps his activities ceased because locals began locking their doors and windows. Perhaps he feared that if he continued, he'd eventually be caught. Or maybe he really did continue to indulge in his twisted passion after all, and simply upped his game, or moved on to greener pastures. Some have theorized that the Cape Watcher may have also been responsible for another spate of intrusions. 3 years after this individual stopped operating in Cape Elizabeth, another man, dubbed the Halifax Sleep Watcher, began to draw a lot of attention in nearby Nova Scotia. Just like the Cape Intruder, the Halifax Sleep Watcher made a habit of sneaking into people's rooms and observing them as they slept. Unlike his predecessor though, the Halifax Sleep Watcher eventually progressed to touching the people he watched. However, he did match the physical description of the Cape Intruder almost perfectly. Is it possible then that the two were actually one and the same? It's hard to say with certainty, because, as mentioned, this kind of delinquency is far from unheard of. Regardless, given how much time has passed, the authorities have since decided to let sleeping dogs lie, and are no longer actively looking for either the Cape Intruder or the Halifax Sleep Watcher. It is a truly chilling thought though, to be visited by a stranger when you're at your most vulnerable. The thought of someone being inside your home at night, and you being totally unaware of their presence, is enough to make anyone's skin crawl. And while the Sleep Watcher's past victims all now sleep with one eye open, I suggest that tonight, before you go to bed, you double check that your doors are locked too. After all, this man is still out there.
Okay, I'm not going to fucking sleep tonight, man. Because, bruh, I have had this feeling. I know all y'all out there that had this feeling too, man. Well, sometimes you go to sleep and you just have that thought of maybe somebody gonna come and just be like somebody looking at you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just have that thought, especially when when it happened, when you're sleeping by yourself or something, and you know you the only one in the house. You know what I'm saying? Well, you ain't even gotta be the only one in the house, man. Everybody had that damn feeling. Y'all know what I'm talking about out there, man. Where you just feel like a motherfucker watching you while you sleep, then you peek your eye back open and try to make sure everything good. This one here was crazy, y'all. This here is crazy as fuck, but it's just a part of me that feel like that them people probably was tripping, man. I just got that feeling that like the first couple of people probably weren't tripping, but it probably just became an urban legend, like the sleepwatcher, and it was just a big thing in their country, and people started reporting that the sleepwatcher had came in their house when in actuality it never happened. They just going off the urban legend. You know, y'all know what I'm saying with that too. I hope y'all be getting what the fuck I'm saying when I be talking, man. Cause I be talking crazy, but the shit be making sense. But like I said, this one here was crazy too, man. And I will say this, I didn't know that this was a thing. Sleep watching. Like is it a fetish or something? Like people actually do that? People actually get off or their hormones get to rising or whatever from just watching a motherfucker sleep? Like they like that shit? I never knew that was a thing, man. Just watching somebody sleep and they enjoy it, you know what I'm saying? But you can't put that. Everything is a thing. When it comes to humans, everything is a fucking thing. It's probably people out there who like to fucking lick the ground. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's probably people out there who like to just lick the ground every now and then. Or any damn thing, man. Any damn thing. So you can't put that past nobody, bro. We got one more to go. And let's check it out. This been good. The Craigslist ad.
Craigslist has something of a reputation amongst true crime and horror fans on YouTube, and this next case exemplifies why. On the 24th of May, 2012, an anonymous user placed an ad on Craigslist, saying they were looking for a male actor to feature in a personal movie they were making. This actor needed to be good looking, had to be a male between 18 and 35 years of age, and was required to send in photos of his face and body. Now, to most readers, it was obvious what this poster was actually advertising. Coming across an ad like this on Craigslist is hardly a rare occurrence, and so it didn't come off as unusually suspicious to most regular users. Several people responded to the post, though the one the advertiser selected for the job was 33-year-old Jun Lin, otherwise known as Justin, a computer engineering student from China. He had arrived in Montreal in 2010 with limited English abilities, but quickly fell in love with the city for how safe and open it was. The thought that a monster could be lurking in its streets, or indeed on its online selling pages, hadn't occurred to him. The Craigslist ad had been placed by a 29-year-old man named Eric Newman, or as he had legally changed his name to, Luca Rocco Magnotta. His face may look familiar to you. He was the subject of the Netflix docuseries Don't Fuck with Cats, but we'll get onto that shortly.
The fuck?
The same night the ad was posted, Jun arrived at Luca's apartment on Decarie Boulevard. This surveillance footage shows the pair entering the building together at 10:17 PM. That was the last time Jun Lin was ever seen alive. Unfortunately, Jun was unaware of what type of person Luca Magnotta was.
I done seen this before, I think, y'all. I think I have seen this before. Now, if the end that happened, how the end I think it's gonna happen, then I'll let y'all know, yeah, I done seen this before. But, you know, it's cool to see it from Lazy perspective and his narration. But I think I know what's gonna happen with this shit, or I got a severe case of deja vu right now, because this was a long time ago and I don't remember who channel it was from. It may have been That Chapter, Mike, it may have been Mr. Baller, it may have been Coffee House Crime with Adrian, or even Anna Sauls, but I know I seen this shit before. And it was crazy. Let's go.
Man with past convictions for fraud and impersonation, amongst other things. A diagnosed schizophrenic, Luca received a disability allowance from the Canadian government, an income which he supplemented with money he made selling his body online to men.
Wow.
Luca had also performed in several Blue movies by the time that he met Jun, so you'd be forgiven for thinking that his Craigslist ad was a money-making ploy. Get some young, oblivious guy over. Film a scene using a hidden camera. Upload the video online, and profit.
Wow.
But that wasn't the type of movie he was planning on making. In the past, Luca had gotten into trouble for uploading videos of himself to the web. Videos in which he tormented and killed cats. 2 years prior, he had uploaded a video to YouTube titled "One Boy, Two Kittens," in which he used a plastic bag and a vacuum cleaner to snuff out 2 felines. A second video showed him submerging a cat in a bath full of water until it expired. A third saw him feeding a cat to a python. Those who do terrible things to animals tend to move on to humans eventually, and Luca was no different. Mere hours after Jun stepped into Luca's apartment, an 11-minute video appeared on various shadowy corners of the internet. You may have heard of it. One lunatic, one ice pick.
Yep. I don't remember where I remember this from, y'all, but I remember this shit. It may have even been Dial Trip, man. It may have been Dial Trip, but I remember this. But I love the way Lazy explaining it because he bringing details that I ain't heard before. This shit is ridiculous.
The now infamous video showed Luca murdering an East Asian male tied up in his bed. Despite the video's title, the victim's life was actually taken using a screwdriver and a sharp kitchen blade. Luca repeatedly punctured the tied-up man using these tools before dismembering him. He then performed all acts on the remains. Luca then filmed himself using a knife and fork to remove some of the man's flesh and had his dog chew on the body. An extended cut apparently includes scenes of cannibalism. Throughout the clip, New Order's True Faith can be heard playing in the background. Concerned viewers tried to report this home movie to the authorities, but they initially brushed it off as a hoax. However, when it came to light that this was a legitimate snuff film, it didn't take the police long to link the victim in the footage to human remains found across Canada. As you've probably guessed, it was Jun Lin. As would come to light, Luca had advertised the release of his home movie online 10 days before he actually took Jun's life. This hadn't been a spur-of-the-moment decision. Luca had been planning to commit a slaying for quite some time, and taking a stranger's life was just the start of his morbid plan. After killing Jun and filming the entire incident, he proceeded to dispose of the body. Notice the yellow shirt that Jun was wearing when he arrived at Luca's apartment that night. Luca was wearing it the following day as he threw pieces of Jun into the garbage. Luca also disposed of several tools outside his own apartment, including a pair of scissors, 2 blades, a screwdriver, an oscillating saw, and a hammer.
Just think about how sick you gotta be. Think about how fucking sick and evil you gotta be to murder somebody and the next day wear the shirt that they was wearing when you murdered them. Or you know what I'm saying, the last shirt that they ever wore. Now you got it on the next day, dumping they pieces of their body in the trash. Think about how fucking insane in your head you got to be to do that. Shit like that just make me be like, humans on Earth really are like that? Like it's people out like that out here for real? Oh my goodness, bro.
Several days after One Lunatic, One Ice Pick was uploaded, Jun's torso was found in a suitcase outside an apartment building in Snowdon. Luca mailed the rest of Jun's remains to various schools and government buildings across Canada. A package containing Jun's right foot was delivered to St. George's School in Vancouver. His left foot was delivered to the national headquarters of the Conservative Party of Canada. The box had been marked with a love heart. His right hand was mailed to False Creek Elementary School. A final parcel containing Jun's left hand addressed to the Liberal Party, was intercepted in a processing facility. Finally, on June 1st, Jun's head was found at the edge of a small lake in Réunion Park, Montreal. Detectives had now collected all of Jun's missing pieces. Now all they had to do was piece together where Luca had fled to. The day after slaying Jun, Luca had bought himself a plane ticket to Paris, France. On May 31st, 2012, Interpol issued a red notice for his arrest and extradition. Using a fake passport with the name Kirk Trammell, Luca had been able to travel across Europe and eventually wound up in Berlin, Germany. He was finally captured on June 4th inside an internet cafe, reading articles about himself online.
Wow.
After being flown back to Montreal, Luca pled not guilty to all of the charges brought against him, including first-degree murder and committing an indignity to a body. Although he accepted that he had committed all of the acts he was accused of, he claimed diminished responsibility due to his mental illnesses, which included borderline personality disorder and paranoid schizophrenia. He said that a man called Manny was inside his room with him on the night of Jun's slaying, urging him to go through with the slaughter.
Why all these people who be insane always claim it's a soul or a ghost or a spirit or a body? It's something that they seen that told them to do all this shit. But for real though, I ain't saying it's always the case, but I believe sometimes these insane motherfuckers do be seeing a ghostly figure telling them to kill, or whatever. I kind of believe it, but it just seems like a lot of them actually use that shit to try to claim insanity too. You know what I'm saying? I believe it's possible, but I believe a lot of them be bullshit. Still crazy though. It's still fucking stupid and insane as fuck.
Both Manny and Lucas's alias, Trammell, were characters from the movie Basic Instinct. In that film, there's a murder scene that involves a silver ice pick. Prosecutors suggested that Luca had been inspired by his favourite film, and painted his black screwdriver silver to resemble the ice pick used in that scene. Ultimately, Luca Magnotta was found guilty of all charges, and was given a life sentence. He'll be eligible for parole after serving 25 years. It seems Luca is enjoying his time behind bars though. "I'm outside the majority of the time. I play a lot of video games," he said. "We all have our own TVs. I have painting classes and I exercise a lot. I practice language studies. People need to be proud of their accomplishments. Know your value and share it with everyone." While in jail, he signed up to an inmate dating website, Canadian Inmates Connect. He married a fellow inmate in 2017, and his mother continues to campaign for his early release. Interim Liberal leader Bob Rae asked Canadians to stop focusing on Luca Magnotta and instead remember the victim, Jun Lin.
True.
"Let's not forget that a young man was killed in the most terrible of circumstances," said Mr. Rae.
True.
He came to Canada to improve himself and to improve his life. And now he's gone. His family in China is mourning, and his friends are in mourning, and all of Canada should be mourning for the person we've lost, rather than celebrating the notoriety of Mr. Magnotta. Jun Lim was known for his ambition, kindness, and aspirations for a better future. We can only grieve the fact that his own future was taken away from him in such a cruel manner. GR, John Hughes, George Lopez.
Woo! That was a good one, y'all. That was a good one, man. And like Lazy said, man, RIP first and foremost, just focus on the fact that Jun Lin, I think I'm saying his name right, hope I'm saying it right, that he lost his life in this whole thing. Because the fucking murderer, who I can't even think of his name right now, and I'm not gonna try to think of it, but y'all know what I'm talking about. The dude who chopped his body up and went to damn prison and all that shit. it's like it's so easy to get caught up in his story because of how fucking lunatic he is, how fucking crazy he is, so you forget about the victim. Not forget about the victim, but the victim should be first and foremost, man. So R.I.P. to Junelin, man. But as far as he go, he one of them type murderers who like really show you he don't give a fuck. He went to jail and acting like he living his best life, like he all good with being in prison. Yeah, I'm taking these classes and I'm doing this and I'm doing that and I'm doing this. Like, he don't give a fuck about being enough. And that's why some of these motherfuckers just need to have the death penalty. If you one of them motherfucking murderers who you don't give a damn, you don't even give a fuck about going to prison for life, you don't care, you just can go in there, you know, have somebody basically take care of you and, you know, do whatever you do. What did he say? I play a lot of video games, we got our own cells and all that shit. If you feel like you just gonna go in there and be all willy-nilly, give them motherfuckers the death penalty. All them motherfuckers need to be dealt. Fuck that. You not finna go up in this prison and goddamn be chilling and thinking all this shit all good and you the fucking... Look, think about what this man did. This man chopped Yulin body up and sent to different schools. Sent the foot to this school. Sent the head there where he left the head on the lake or something. Sent the arm there, hand, whatever, man. Think about how bad he did that, bro. He should have got dealt. Long story short, story long. I would give his ass death, bro. This was, man, I'm glad we came back to the ladies, my brothers and sisters. Like I said, it had been a while, man. It had been a while. All three of these stories was pretty fucking good, man. Let me see real quick. What was the second story, y'all? What was the fucking second story? The sleepwatcher. Yeah, what I get out of the sleepwatcher is I didn't know that there was a thing where people get off or like watching somebody sleep. I never really heard of that, but Laser laid out a lot of evidence that it's true, and I really don't know if the sleepwatcher really exists or not. I believe it exists, but I don't know, man, because I believe that shit probably could have been an urban legend because more and more people over time start talking about the sleepwatcher, and some of them probably never even experienced sleepwatcher. And the first story, that's the most fucking goddamn sad one, y'all. That's the one that just fucked up, man. For real, man. They died from drinking water. At one point, I'm thinking someone was in the water, but I ain't had realized how much water she actually had fucking drunk. Man, bro, she basically drowned herself. Crazy, crazy, crazy. But I digress. I'm gonna let y'all go now, man. As always, I appreciate y'all coming on back. Make sure you come back real soon, my people. It's the weekend, and we're gonna put out 2 more videos. Saturday, then you know we going to Mr. Baller Sunday. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button, comment, subscribe, do all that now. Come on now. If you ain't did that yet, please do it for me, cause we trying to get out here more. And until I see y'all again, my brothers and sisters, you know I got to say this. Love, peace, and happiness. Stay safe. Don't stop. Keep going. Yeah.